While it has yet to be officially signed and sealed, all roads seem to be leading to Russell Martin becoming the next manager of Rangers Football Club. The former Southampton boss has been in advanced talks with the Ibrox board, and behind the scenes, everything is being set in motion for his arrival. The signs are getting stronger by the day, and preparations for a new era under Martin appear to be gathering serious pace. Known for his modern possession-heavy style and a strong sense of tactical identity, Martin is the type of manager who leaves a footprint, not just in terms of how his teams play, but in the culture he builds around them. This is not a man who arrives solo. Wherever he's gone, he's brought trusted backroom staff with him, and more often than not, player targets who suit his system to a T. It's not just about tactics with Martin, it's about building an ecosystem that functions in harmony, where every coach, analyst, and player knows their role in the bigger picture. As Rangers stand on the brink of another rebuild, Russell Martin feels like a strategic appointment aimed at not just chasing trophies in the short term, but at laying foundations for something more sustainable. Rangers fans have grown used to changes in the dugout over recent years, but this move feels slightly different. Martin's reputation as a builder, someone who doesn't just inherit squads but reshapes them with a clear idea of how football should be played, is seen as a breath of fresh air. His work at MK Dons Swansea and Southampton all showcased elements of this philosophy. At MK Dons, he transformed the team into one of the most possession-dominant sides in English football. At Swansea, he pushed a young side to play brave football, even if results didn't always match the ambition. And at Southampton, despite a tough end to his tenure, he was praised for his commitment to a style of play that prioritized control and identity. Now, as he prepares to possibly step into the Ibrox hot seat, attention naturally turns to who he might bring with him. Names like Matt Gill, who has been a close assistant at multiple clubs, and Dean Thornton, his longtime goalkeeping coach, are likely to follow. There's also Maurice Ross, a former Rangers defender, and someone who has completed coaching badges alongside Martin, a name that could resonate with the fan base, blending familiarity with the future. Analysts like Ben Parker and Performance. Staff such as Ree Owen may also make the journey north, forming a coaching unit that's already well-oiled and battle-tested. But beyond the dugout, this appointment could have big consequences on the pitch too. Rangers are in the middle of a massive summer shake-up, and Martin's arrival might just be the catalyst for decisive moves in the transfer market. With his eye for technical, tactically aware players who can execute his brand of football, fans should expect links to players who might not be household names, but fit the profile to a T. And that brings us to one of the biggest questions hanging over Ibrox right now: the future of Mohamed Diomande. The Ivorian midfielder has rapidly become one of the most talked about talents in Scottish football. After a season where he made over 30 league appearances and contributed directly to goals and assists, his energy, drive and skill have put him on the radar of several English Premier League clubs. Everton are currently leading the chase, and it's no surprise. With a rebuild of their own on the cards, they've been monitoring Diomande for months. The Rangers hierarchy know what they've got on their hands. This is not a player they're keen to lose, and any sale would demand a significant fee. Reports suggest the club could be looking at upwards of £20 million, which would represent one of the most lucrative deals in their history. Still, there's a sense of realism at Ibrox. Financial opportunities like this don't come along often in Scottish football, with interest coming from not just Everton, but potentially 5 other Premier League sides. The board is weighing their options carefully, and crucially, the final decision may depend on Russell Martin himself. If he's confirmed as the new manager, one of his first jobs will be to lay out his vision for the squad. And that includes whether Diomande is at the heart of it. From a footballing perspective, keeping the midfielder would be a massive statement. He's been one of the team's standout performers, mixing a relentless engine with technical quality that has made him effective in both deeper roles and more advanced positions. His European performances, particularly against teams like Fenerbahce, have only boosted his stock further. At 22 years old, he's got his best years ahead of him, and fans know just how difficult he would be to replace. But football is also a business, and a £20 million windfall could allow Rangers to reinvest in multiple areas of the pitch. Whether that's a new number 10, a reliable center forward, or defensive depth, the funds could open up a range of possibilities, especially under a manager like Martin, who's known for identifying undervalued talent and turning them into key contributors. That's the kind of strategic thinking the club needs if they're going to truly challenge Celtic again and make meaningful progress in Europe. Meanwhile, there's also speculation swirling around a few other players. One name that's dominated headlines recently is Václav Černý, the Czech international, who spent last season on loan at Rangers. With 18 goals and 9 assists, he became a fan favorite almost overnight. Many supporters had hoped to see him stay permanently, but it looks like that ship has sailed. Wolfsburg, his parent club, are reportedly holding out for a £9 million fee, and Černý himself has hinted that his time in Glasgow may be over. Speaking while on international duty, he reflected on his time at Rangers with fondness, saying he played nearly 60 matches, had an incredible relationship with the fans, and would carry those memories with him forever. But he also admitted there's no clarity yet about his next destination, only that he's due back at Wolfsburg and will figure things out after his commitments with the national team. It's a bittersweet situation for Rangers. On one hand, Černý delivered on the pitch and embraced the club, but on the other, the financial and contractual realities might simply make a deal impossible. His departure, if confirmed, will leave a hole, but also perhaps open the door for new signings tailored to Martin's system. And speaking of new signings, another intriguing subplot is the potential revival of a transfer that collapsed last summer. Samuel Edozie, a promising winger from Southampton, was close to joining Rangers on loan, but the move fell apart in the final hours of the window. Under Martin, Edozie enjoyed spells of good form and was clearly a player the manager valued. If Martin takes over at Ibrox, don't be surprised if that deal is revisited. The manager even said during his time in Southampton that they had scouts watching Edozie closely during his loan in Belgium, and that the youngster was very much part of their long-term plans. Now, with Martin on the verge of becoming Rangers' new boss, we might see a real shift in recruitment strategy. One focused less on marquee names and more on players with high ceilings who fit a defined tactical system. And that's perhaps the most exciting thing about this potential appointment. It's not just about changing the man on the touchline, it's about reshaping the identity of the club, both in style and structure. The next few days could prove pivotal not just for the summer window, but for the trajectory of Rangers over the next few years. And that trajectory is already being felt in the background, where the club's internal gears are turning rapidly in anticipation of the new regime. The US-led consortium now steering the ship at Ibrox has made it clear that they want a modern structure and a long-term sporting vision, not just short-term fixes. That's one of the main reasons Martin appeals so much. He's seen as someone who doesn't just manage games, he manages systems, departments, and the overall football philosophy. For a club that has at times lacked that kind of cohesive thinking, behind the scenes this could be the moment where things start to align. It's also worth noting that Martin's track record with young players has been one of his standout attributes. At Swansea and Southampton, he consistently gave opportunities to players under the age of 23 and put real trust in them on big occasions. That resonates strongly with the kind of squad Rangers are trying to build, a mix of proven senior pros and hungry young talent with resale value. And it goes beyond just putting them on the pitch. Martin creates an environment where those players are given specific roles with clear expectations inside a system that values bravery on the ball and intelligence off it. This is where someone like Diamande fits perfectly. It's not just about what he offers now, it's what he could become under a coach like Martin. If Rangers do manage to convince the midfielder to stay, that could be one of the early success stories of the new era. It sends a message that the club is not just a stepping stone, but a place where players can grow, win, and raise their level. However, if the deal with Everton or another Premier League side becomes too tempting to resist, the pressure will be on Martin and the recruitment team to find an adequate replacement quickly. What's clear is that the club is not sitting idle. Scouts are already out. Names are being discussed behind closed doors, and the vibe inside Ibrox is one of urgency and opportunity. There's a hunger to get it right this time, to stop patching holes and instead build something that can last. And that includes the backroom staff. Martin doesn't just bring coaches with him for comfort. Each member of his team is carefully selected to contribute to the overall project. Matt Gill, for example, has been his assistant at multiple clubs and is a tactician in his own right. Dean Thornton is known not just for his work with goalkeepers, but for his deep involvement in match preparation. These are professionals who understand Martin's demands and methods inside out. Maurice Ross, if he does come on board, adds an interesting layer. As a former Rangers player, he understands the weight of the shirt and the expectations that come with it. That kind of presence in the dressing room can be vital, especially during transition periods. If confirmed, Ross would likely act as a cultural bridge between the club's traditions and the new footballing direction. Someone who knows what it means to win here, but also appreciates the need to evolve. Then there's the data and performance side, which has become a massive part of Martin's approach in recent years. Names like Ben Parker and Ree Owen aren't usually on the front pages, but they're the engine behind the scenes. Analyzing training sessions, preparing individual reports for players, and ensuring the team is operating at peak performance. Under Martin, Rangers would be embracing a much more scientific and detail-oriented way of working, something that fans have been calling for as the game continues to evolve around them. And it's not just about who's coming in, it's about who's going out too. Apart from Cherney's departure, there's uncertainty around several squad members whose futures are still up in the air. Martin will have decisions to make quickly, especially with pre-season on the horizon and qualifiers for European competitions looming. The margin for error is small, and the expectation will be high from day one. But that's something Martin will be used to. He knows what it's like to take over clubs with pressure, and he knows how to instill belief in a team that's struggling for identity. One of the more intriguing angles here is the possibility of reviving failed deals or returning for players previously linked. Samuel Edozie is a prime example. The winger was moments away from becoming a Rangers player last year, before the move collapsed. Under Martin, Edozie was not only given chances at Southampton, but was actively developed into a player with real end product and confidence. His time in Belgium showed that he's still hungry to improve, and Rangers could be the perfect environment for him to explode if the move is revived. Martin has already admitted he kept close tabs on the player while he was out on loan, and that could hint at serious interest once the managerial appointment is made official. This kind of targeted recruitment, going after players who already understand the manager's style and expectations, could give Rangers a crucial head start over their rivals. It reduces the bedding period, ensures tactical cohesion, and most importantly allows the team to hit the ground running. With the gap to Celtic still significant, especially in consistency and mental resilience, any edge Rangers can find in there, rebuild could make all the difference. In short, what's developing at Ibrox right now feels like more than just another managerial change. It feels like a cultural reset, a return to thinking long-term with clarity and ambition. Russell Martin might not be the flashy name some fans were hoping for, but he might just be exactly what the club needs. A calm, organized builder with a clear blueprint for modern football. And if the board backs him with the right tools both. In staff and player recruitment, Rangers could be about to enter one of the most transformative periods in their recent history. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are gathering pace across Glasgow that Aberdeen star striker BOJAN MIOVSKI could be set for a sensational switch to Rangers this summer. While no official confirmation has emerged from either club, sources close to the Ibrox hierarchy suggest that discussions may already be underway regarding a potential move for the North Macedonian hitman. MIOVSKI, who has been nothing short of prolific for the Dons, netting consistently across the Premiership campaign, has caught the eye of several suitors both domestically and abroad. However, it's Rangers who appear to be leading the chase, with speculation mounting that new boss or current manager sees MIOVSKI as the ideal addition to bolster the front line ahead of a crucial season both in the league and Europe. There is talk that personal terms have already been broached, with some claiming that MIOVSKI is keen on the opportunity to test himself at a club with Rangers stature, not to mention the lure of European football and the chance to compete for silverware on multiple fronts. His proven track record in Scotland could make the transition seamless, a factor that surely hasn't gone unnoticed by the Rangers recruitment team. For Aberdeen supporters, the prospect of losing their talisman will be a bitter pill to swallow, especially to a league rival. But with the reported fee potentially in the region of several £1 million, the Dons may find the business difficult to refuse. After all, MIOVSKI's contract situation and the realities of modern football economics often leave clubs with little choice when a big offer comes in. Of course, as with all these stories, nothing is set in stone. Transfer windows are notorious breeding grounds for speculation, and for now, the MIOVSKI to Ibrox saga remains just that, a rumor. But with Rangers looking to strengthen and reshape their squad, and MIOVSKI's stock arguably never higher, it would be no surprise if this particular whisper gathers more substance in the coming weeks. Only time will tell whether MIOVSKI will be trading Pittodrie red for the blue of Ibrox. For now, the rumour mill keeps on spinning and the Scottish footballing world watches with keen interest. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC, and don't forget to share. Your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.